Today, we're going to install a UniBIOS chip on a Neo Geo AES. Let's go ahead and get this console opened up and get into it. Again, we have our 3 screw slots. That leg does not have a screw underneath it because there's usually one sitting there. And we have this. I did actually finally find a screw for that hole. I just haven't got it yet. But we're going to go ahead and get this opened up and down to the board. Alright, so this right here, just to the right of the cartridge slot, this is the chip we're going to be removing to install the UniBIOS. Just go ahead and get that flipped over. It's going to be this set of pins right here. What I like to do is just age of the console is just get a little bit of flux on these pins before we go through and desolder. We are actually going to add some fresh solder to all of these points, and that'll just help with actually getting ours to desolder correctly, just due to the age of the solder that is actually already still on the board. Now that we got some fresh solder on there, go ahead and get our desoldering gun turned on. This one does have a temperature switch down on the bottom. Currently have it on setting 1, which is 350 degrees. Our little red light on the front will shut off. And essentially vacuum pump. You could do this. It's one of the squeeze ones, or with some actual deep soldering wick. But when doing this, you want to push down, let it sit, and then suck. You don't want to pull the trigger and push down at the same time. I've had a couple of points that didn't fully come off, so we're going to put a little more flux in those areas. And this really will just make it easier when we go to pull this chip out. It's less likely we're going to tear a trace. Make sure the tip is clean, but I just like to tap each pad not really pad, but and make sure the pens move freely. one that does not. If you get it right and you have all of your stuff successfully desoldered, then the chip will fall right out without really needing to use any solder wick or anything else in the process. But I do just like to do that because then it falls right out. All of our holes are nice and clean. Get it flipped back over and we can start to actually get the chip mounted. And there are two pieces to this. There is the holder itself, which just will fall right in since our chip just fell right out. And then there's the UniBIOS chip itself. Now I will say this weighs about twice as much as the actual factory one does. Not sure why, pretty sure it's just one, whatever it's made out of, and two, just for shipping purposes. One thing you want to pay attention to is the notch here. There is a notch on this piece, and those will just slide right in together, right on top of each other. You can kind of see the slot right there. That has its own little slot, and that just falls right into place. And then what we're going to do is, this is the part that it's really not that tricky. I'll get that plugged in. What I'm going to do is hold it from the bottom. With one hand. And I'm going to get my soldering iron. And all I'm doing is just using my bottom hand to push it into the board. And then just doing my outside 4 points. Alright. I see on there I just did the outside 4. That way it just holds the chip nicely in place so we can come through and solder the rest of the points down on the chip. And anytime too you're doing any soldering, just use some good high quality solder. Flip this back over and take our UniBIOS chip. These are a tight fit into the slot. What I like to do is kind of get part of one side in and gently guide the other because you don't want to bend the legs. You're putting these in. And again, this has a notch on it as well to line up with everything else. Just get nice, even pressure. It will be tight going in. Don't force it pushing really hard. But that's pretty much it. That is a UniBIOS chip install on a Geo AES. Anyways, we are North Pole Retro. Check us out at northpoleretro.com. Like, subscribe, share, and we are still doing our giveaway, so check out our retro repair haul videos, and we'll see you in the next one.